Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to create a transformation animation in flipaclip. So for it, let's create our composition first. I've already given the title for this animation and I'm going to animate this in 12 frames per second. After selecting the settings for our animation, we are ready to animate. We'll begin our animation by creating our first layer, which is the rough layer, where we will draw the rough sketches for this animation. By selecting the brush tool and the gray color, I will draw some sketches for this animation. I will also be selecting the sketch brush for this. First of all, I will draw the character in its resting pose. We have created the first frame for our animation, and now in the second frame we are going to create the character in his transformed state. I have turned the onion skin on so that I can still see the previous frame while drawing the next frame. So now we will draw the transformed state of the character. And now we have got these two frames for our animation. We also need to draw a flying insect for this animation. So we will draw an insect that comes on flying and that annoys the character. I will animate the insect flying very near the character and then flying off when the character transforms. Here, as soon as the character transforms, the insect flies back. I will also go on the very first frames and animate the insect approaching the character. We have already animated the insect, but we have got only 2 frames for the character animation, so we will be adding more frames. Now I will start adding frames between the 2 frames of the character that we have already drawn. So the additional frames that we add between any 2 frames are called in betweens. So we are going to add in betweens between these 2 frames. To draw the in between frame, I will see the previous frame and the after frame and add the in between accordingly. In this frame, which is the second frame, the character will move a little from his resting pose. And now we have got 3 poses for the character, and we'll be adding more. And now we'll add in between the second pose that we just drew and the very last pose. We will try to draw this character getting big in this frame. And now we have successfully added one more in between. And now we will add one more in between the character pose that we just drew and the ending pose. So between these 2 frames, I will draw one additional frame. With each pose, I have drawn the character growing in size. After drawing the last in between frame for our character animation, it is now complete. I will now refine our sketch layer a bit so that we can start doing the line work for this animation. After doing this, our sketch for this animation is complete. I have added a separate layer for doing the line work for this animation. And now we will decrease the opacity of the sketch layer and start working in the line work layer. I will be selecting a darker color and a different brush for doing the line works. At first I will do the line work for the frames where the character just remains still, and then I will just copy that one frame and paste it across all the frames where the character is not moving. I will change the facial expressions on some of the frames so that the character seems to be looking at the insect, and then I will just go frame by frame and add line works to the frames where the character poses are different. Now to do the line work for the insect, I will create a separate layer. I have finished doing the line work for the insect as well, and our line work for this whole animation is complete. And now it's time for coloring this animation. I have selected the colors that I am going to use for this character in my color swatches, and now I will just go frame by frame and start dropping those colors. We have finished coloring both our characters, and now we are going to create a simple background for this animation. I will create the background layer at the very bottom of our composition. I have already drawn the line work for the background, and now I will just start adding colors. I will just pick and drop the colors from my color swatches. Our background is also complete, and now I will just copy and paste this background across all the different frames of this animation. And after doing all this, our animation is complete. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, and if you want to see more animation content, subscribe.